Hello students, today we will be discussing about next chapter, chapter number 3, assessment of companies. Now before starting this chapter and before starting the theoretical concepts under this chapter, let us understand what you mean by assessment. Now we have already understood assessment of firms. Now once again we will understand a term or the word assessment. Assessment in simple words means a procedure through which you will find out the total income of the company as well as the tax liability of the company. That means in previous year the company would have earned certain amount of income which may fall under different heads of income, like income from house property, it may be income from capital gain, it may be income from other sources, or it may be income from business or profession. So except under the head salaries, if there is any income from other four heads of income, you club it together and find out gross total income. Then again, once you find out gross total income, you will deduct or show the deductions under section 80G to 80LA. In case of firm, it is deductions will be shown under section 80G to 80JJA. But in case of company, the deduction should be shown under section 80G to 80LA. And once you deduct the deductions from the gross total income, you will end up getting total income. So once you have total income on hand, you will apply the prescribed rate of tax. That is, a flat rate of tax will be applied on total income and you will compute the tax liability. So in simple words, assessment of company is nothing but finding out the total income and computing the tax liability of the company. Now we will move further and understand the definition of companies as per Companies Act 1956. So as per the Companies Act of 1956, the company is defined as an artificial person created by law having a separate legal entity with perpetual succession and common seal. Now let us split all these things and understand more precisely. Now what do you mean by artificial person created by law? Artificial person created by law means any entity which is created for whom the legal rights are provided is called as artificial person created by law. Now what do you mean by having separate legal entity? Having separate legal entity means separation of ownership from management. Now who will contribute towards the capital of the company? It will be shareholders. They will be the real owners, but in spite of they being the real owners of the company, the management and all the major decisions will be taken care by the board of directors of the company. That means the ownership is separated from management. Now again, another important feature of company is perpetual succession. Perpetual succession is nothing but continuity of business. So once you start a business, basically there will be few number of promoters who will be establishing or incorporating the company. Now even after the promoters are deceased, the business still continues to exist, it won't cease. Now in spite of certain number of persons being deceased, the business will still be in continuity, that is called as perpetual succession. And the company also has another important feature called as common seal. Now what do you mean by having common seal? Common seal is nothing but that symbol or a logo of the company which is present on all the official papers and official documents of the company. So this is called as company under Companies Act 1956. Now let us move on and understand the definition of company given by Income Tax Act. Now income tax section 2 subsection 17 of the Income Tax Act 1961 defines company as follows. So according to this act, the company means any Indian company or a body corporate incorporated by or under any laws of a country outside India. That means the company can be an Indian company. Indian company means are those companies which is incorporated in India and having its registered office in India. Any body corporate incorporated by or under any laws of the country means it is a foreign company, right? So if there is any company which is incorporated under the laws of other country, that in simple words is foreign company. And company can also mean any institution or association of persons or body of individuals which is declared by the special order of board. Board here means Central Board of Direct Taxes to be a company for specified assessment year. That means if the Central Board of Direct Taxes specifies any company or declares any company or any institution or association to be a company for specified number of assessment years, even that will also fall under the bracket of meaning of company. Now next topic, we will move on and understand different types or classification of companies. Now under different types of companies, first type of company we have Indian company. So according to section 2 subsection 26 of the act, Indian company means any company which is established or formed or registered under the Companies Act 1956 or Companies Act 2013, and it includes any corporation or any institution or association declared by the board to be a company. Board means again Central Board of Direct Taxes. Now another important feature to be an Indian company is that compulsorily it should have its registered office situated in India. Now moving on, again another type of company is called as domestic company. Now what do you mean by domestic company? In simple words, domestic company is also an Indian company who have made or which has made prescribed arrangement for declaration as well as payment of dividend out of its taxable income. So if there is any Indian company who have made certain arrangement for declaring and making payments of dividend out of its total taxable income, then these companies are defined as domestic company. Then again, another type of third category of company is called as foreign company. So in simple words, foreign company means any company which is not an Indian company or domestic company is a foreign company. That means it is a company which is incorporated by foreign laws. Now, another fourth important type of company is called as company in which the public are substantially interested. Now I know it is little bit confusing, but please do concentrate. You will be able to get an idea of what do you mean by company in which the public are substantially interested. Now it can be any company which is owned by government or RBI. If there is any company which is doing business in India which is owned by either government or RBI, then again it falls under the category of company in which the public are substantially interested. Now again, if there is any company which in which 40% or more of the shares are held by government or RBI or any other corporation which is owned by RBI, then also it will come under the company in which the public are substantially interested. Now again under this category, it can also be a company which is registered under Section 25 of Companies Act 1956. Now if there is any business which is registered under Section 25, Section 25 companies are those company which is into promotion of art, religion, science, commerce, and many other things. So they are called as Section 25 companies. So even that Section 25 companies also belong under this category. Now if there is any company which is not having any share capital, but if it is still declared by Central Board of Direct Taxes to be a company in which the public are substantially interested. Now, if the Central Board of Direct Taxes they themselves uh, declare a certain company which is not having any share capital to be a company in which the public are substantially interested, then also it will be termed or falling within this bracket of company in which the public are substantially interested. Now it can also be a Nidhi or mutual benefit company. Nidhi or mutual benefit finance companies are those companies which will give permission for these companies to accept a deposit from its members. So these are again falling into the same category of company. Now again, if there is any company where 50% or more of its voting rights throughout the previous year was held by a cooperative society or more than one cooperative society, then also it will fall under the company in which the public were substantially interested. Now again, if it is a public listed company which is listed on a recognized stock exchange across India, even in the last day of the previous year, then again it will fall under this category. Now, again, if there is any public company whose voting power, 50% or more of its voting power throughout the previous year was held by any government company or the company in which the public was substantially interested, or any other 100% subsidiary company in which the public are substantially interested, then again it will fall under the same category of the company. Now, next category important under the classification of company, next type of company is called as investment company. Now, investment company is very interesting. Now, if you look at this company, the major chunk of income will be under the head income from house property or income from capital gain and income from other sources. So, if you are having any company whose major chunk of income is coming from house property, capital gain and income from other sources, then it will be termed or classified as investment company. Now again, we have another type of company called as widely held companies. So widely held companies are basically those companies in which public are substantially interested. Now again, closely held company, next type of company is closely held company. So these are certain companies in which the public are not substantially interested. They are called as closely held company. Now in simple words, widely held company are those public companies. Then again, widely held companies will be basically public companies whose share will be listed in the stock exchange, and closely held companies will be small private limited companies. Now again, banking company, next category of company are banking companies. Now what do you mean by banking company? If there is any banking institution or any other company to whom or to which banking regulation act of 1949 is applicable, or if there is any banking institution which is referred in section 51 of income tax act, they will fall under the category of banking company. Now again, moving on, next category of company, the last type of company we have under the classification of companies is industrial company. Now, to be called as an industrial company, these companies should be engaged in the business of generation or distribution of electricity or any other form of power. So, if you see any type of companies who is into this business of generating or distribution of power or electricity, they will be falling under industrial company. Or if the company is into manufacturing or construction of shipbuilding activity, then also they will be termed as industrial company. Or if there are any companies which is manufacturing or processing the goods, even they will come under industrial company. Basically, so all the manufacturing companies will come under industrial company. Now again, if there are certain companies which is into extraction of minerals and other ores, that is into mining business, even they will fall under the category of industrial company. So this is about classification of companies. Now moving ahead, next topic, next very important topic under this chapter is residential status of company. Yes, you have to determine the residential status of company. Now how do you determine residential status of company? Now according to section 6 subsection 3 of Income Tax Act 1961, there are certain rules through using which you can make a distinction between a different types of company. Now a company is basically classified into an Indian company and foreign company. Now Indian company, please remember, it will always be a resident company. So there is no question of an Indian company being a non-resident company. Indian company means straight away, please remember, it will always be resident company. But when but in case of foreign company, it can be it can either be a resident company or certain times it can be a non-resident company. Now, how to determine foreign company to be a resident company or non-resident company? Now, the foreign company, if it is in during the previous year, if entire control and management of its affairs was situated wholly in India, that means if all the major affairs and major decisions of the foreign company was made entirely or wholly in India during the previous year, then such foreign companies can be called or termed as resident companies. Now, if the same foreign company during the previous year, if its entire control and management of its affairs was either partially or wholly done or situated out of India, then those type of foreign companies called as non-resident company. Now, anyways, again, there are certain new provisions which have emerged out of New Finance Act 2015. So, according to this New Finance Act 2015, there is a new rule to determine the residential status of company. So, this new act says the residential status would be determined based on its POEM, that is place of effective management. Yes, POEM stands for place of effective management. So here, according to new rule, also Indian company, absolutely there is no doubt it will always remain to be a resident company. But foreign company, it can either be again a resident company or a non-resident company. Now, during the previous year, if the place of effective management or POEM of the foreign company is wholly situated in India, then it will be a resident company. Then again, in case of foreign company, if the place of effective management is outside India during the previous year, then it will be a non-resident company. Now, what do you mean by POEM or place of effective management? Now, place of effective management is a place where all the key managerial or important and commercial decisions to conduct the business of the entity as a whole are in substance made. So basically, it's a place where all the key managerial decisions relating to operating a business and conducting the business transactions are made. So if this place is situated wholly in India during the previous year, that means the company will be resident. If it is outside India, that means the company is a non-resident company. So hope you guys have understood till here. Thank you for everything.